Hello and welcome to Stamp with Julie Baum. I'm Julie and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And I'm here today to show you one of the projects that we made at Stamp Club in October of 2024. We made 3 projects and each of those projects has its own video here on my YouTube channel, so you can be sure and look for those. This one is an adorable little treat box. So let's begin. I am starting with a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock, and it measures 5 inches by 7 inches. Now you can use your Stampin' trimmer with the scoring blade, or you can grab your Simply Scored, and we're going to do some scoring on this, just a few simple spots. So with the cardstock in landscape position, we're going to score at 3 inches and at 4 inches. Then we're going to turn the cardstock and we're going to score at 1 inch and also 1 inch from this side, which will be the 4-inch mark since our paper is 5 inches wide. That is it. So we can set that aside for now. And then I will go ahead and do my folding with my bone folder so I can get these nice crisp creases in here. The designer series paper that I'm going to be using is once again from the Take a Bow package of 6x6 papers. And this pack just keeps on giving. I'm telling you, I have made so many cards and projects with still this one pack of paper. The colors are red, white, and green. So it's just your classic Christmas colors, and all of the patterns are super cute and also really nice and interchangeable. And so I'm reaching for that paper again today. All right, I'm going to make a few cuts. So here in this area, I'm going to snip on the line and stop when it crisscrosses the next line up, and same over here. And then as you'll see me do almost every time I make a box, this little tab here is going to get some wedges in it. So I'm just going to take my scissors and do an angle, a skinny little triangle or a wedge. Remove that piece, and from this side. And then we'll do the same thing on this end. The whole purpose of putting those little wedges in your tabs just has to do with putting the box itself together. It removes some of the bulk when you fold in those flaps on each other. And so it's proven to be a very, very good practice to use. Like I said, almost every time I make a box or this type of a project. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to put some adhesive here and here, and then we're going to create our box. This is going to come up like that. And then the last side is going to get some adhesive on it and come up on the insides. Now, I'm going to show you something only because I'm kind of picky about it on this project. When this last piece of the box comes up and gets into place, only because it's resting on other layers of the cardstock, it tends to stick up a little bit. Now, it's not so much that it ruins the project, but it does kind of bother me. So if you think you might be bothered by that as well, you're going to make this one extra step before you're putting your box together. So I'm going to open this flat again, and I'm going to choose this as my last piece to go get folded in the box. So this is my last piece, and I'm going to get that trimmer out again. And I am going to take the tiniest sliver, I mean like a hair, off of that edge of my box. So I'm going to put it right in here along the groove where the blade is going to glide. And I'm just going to push it a little bit further through so that I get just a hair of that piece of cardstock, and I've removed it. You can see how tiny it is. All right. So now that I've done that, I want to make sure that I identify this is the last part of the box that's going to get folded up. Once I've identified that, I can go ahead and start putting it together. So I'm going to put some adhesive here and here and put the first piece in place against my tabs. All right, so I'm just squaring it up, holding it in place, give it a second to grab on. And then over here, still working with this side, attach it to that flap that had adhesive on it. I'm going to hold it and square it up, give it a moment to grab on. And now it's the last piece that I had already taken that little piece off of this edge. This is the last piece that's going to come together to form my box. So I'm going to put some adhesive on this outside flap. And you could definitely do this with your tear and tape or your Stampin' Seal if you prefer. Those would probably hold a little bit better than the liquid glue, but I do like how the liquid glue gives you a moment to be able to slide this into place and get it right where you want it before letting it grab on. All right, now I'm squaring it up again, squaring up this side, and now you can see that my edge at the top is completely flat and the one side is not sticking up a little bit from where it would have been standing up. So like I said, that's a total extra step. You don't have to do it. Otherwise, glue your flaps, put your box together, and you're done. All right, giving that again just another moment to stick. Oh, let's go ahead, since we've got our glue out, we can go ahead and attach this. This piece is going to go to on the front of the box. I'm using a piece that's 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And I am only decorating the front. You could totally decide to decorate the front and the back if you wish, but we are only decorating the front in this instance. All right, giving that a moment to stick on. All right, now we're going to use just a very common office tool, and that is a hole punch. And I'm looking for my hole punch. This one is ancient. This is not a Stampin' Up product. It's just an office hole punch that I have probably had in my office for decades. So I believe that it would be a 1/4 inch hole punch. It doesn't really matter. All we need to do is punch some holes in the side of our box so that our ribbon or trim can go through. So this is going to go in here and make a hole and a hole. All right, for decorating the front of my box, I went ahead and cut some of this Festive Glimmer Paper. Now this is just beautiful. The packet of Festive Glimmer Paper comes with 3 colors in it. You get the Granny Apple Green, the Garden Green, and the Real Red, and they are just beautiful glimmer papers. This paper is always so much prettier in person than can possibly be shown on camera. So trust me when I say that it's beautiful, and the way that we do our glimmer papers is nice because the glitter doesn't come off at all. It's like, I don't know how they do it, but it's like baked into the paper. All right, so I have a circle of the green glimmer paper cut with one of my circle dies from Stylish Shapes, and then I have a white circle cut from a smaller die also from Stylish Shapes. So on here I'll do my stamping. Now I wanted a greeting that was small and would fit into this circle, and you might have a number of good choices for that. I went to a retired stamp set called Itty Bitty Christmas from quite a while back. I liked the size of these images, so I'm using the Thinking of You at Christmas in this nice script. That's where I got my stamp, but you can use whatever image you have handy that fits into your circle. Let's do this one in red. I've got a variety of ones to show you, and so I'll do this one up a little bit different. So I'm going to stamp my words in red, And then we're going to do some accent. And I got these stamps right out of Reindeer Fun. We're going to use the little holly leaves and the berries. All right, so I'm using Garden Green ink with those leaves, and I'll stamp one up here at the top and one down here. And then we're going to add some of the little red berries, which you don't have to place in any place particular. Just get close to the leaves and it's going to look great. All right, there you have that. Now, to attach this to my glimmer paper, I would not recommend the liquid glue. You need something a little bit stronger because of the texture of this. So either grab your Stampin' Seal or some tear and tape, which I'm going to use tear and tape on mine. Just so that you can really get this white piece to stick well to that green glimmer paper. All right, I'm going to put a couple pieces on here. That one was a little long. 2 or 3 ought to hold it. All right, so this is going to go right here, centered onto my glittery circle. This now is going to go onto the front of my project, which you can use whatever adhesive is handy, since we're just doing paper to paper. And you can already imagine a little bit maybe of shredded tissue paper or some of that Excelsior kind of natural looking filler that you can put in baskets or gift bags. That would be really cute in the bottom of this with your treats. Now let's add a handle. And what I did for my handle is I reached for some trim that I've had for a while. And I still had quite a bit of it. And it's very pretty. This was called iridescent trim, I think, iridescent trim, back when it was available. Since this might be hard to find, it's not available through Stampin' Up right now. Since this might be hard to find, you could definitely use any kind of white or red or green ribbon or trim for this, even yarn. All right, so I'm going to take a piece, and we only need, this is going to be extra long, okay? I'm going to start with a piece that's 8 inches, and that's going to be plenty. This is how I teach how to create your handle the easiest way. So start by tying a knot in your trim. This is before you even put it into the box at all. So get that first knot on there while you're not encumbered by the box itself. All right, so there's my first knot. Now I'll take the loose end and thread it from the inside of the box to the outside. And there's that first knot in place. Then I'm going to go ahead and insert it from the outside to the inside. And at this point, I'm going to pull it pretty tight. Now, it's not going to stay this tight, but I want to have enough of this to work with that it's not difficult. So just go ahead and pull it tight. That gives you plenty to work with to tie your second knot. If you do struggle with this, I told you I started with 8 inches. You might want to start with 9 or 10 inches. That would give you even a little bit more, but I'm going to do fine with this and get it into my knot. I'm having to hold it up against me just to hold onto it, and it's hard to do that while I am filming. So hold with me while I pull this through. And then you can see how it comes together. All right, so there's my second knot. I had to wrestle it a little bit. So I said start with 8 inches. Go ahead and start with a little bit more and you won't have to wrestle with it quite so much. So then I've got my second knot in there, and I can now determine where I want this handle to go, just like that. I like it to be able to stand up. The longer the handle, the floppier it is. So if you started with more trim than I did, if you had 9 or 10 inches, when you do this knot, you want to push it down a little bit onto the rest of the length of trim so that then when you pull this through and have your knot catch, you don't end up with a huge loopy handle. And there we have it. There is our Thinking of You at Christmas little treat box. So cute. Here is one with a different greeting and the dark green glimmer paper. So this one says Very Merry. And then I have another one of these, but with the red glimmer paper, and then it looks like that. So as I mentioned, this was project number 2 from Stamp Club. There are 3 total from October of 2024. Be sure and find those. Each of them is a Christmas themed project, and I hope that you'll have fun preparing and making some of these projects for yourself. Until next time, happy stamping.